everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Tashwita Gupta, and it's after a very long time that I'm making a video on some general topic of ACCA other than the classes of F7, SBR and audit. So in this video I'm going to talk about the very troublesome topic for some students as well as affiliates, that is the practical experience requirement which is there in your ACCA. So for becoming a member, after qualifying the ACCA 13 exams, you become an affiliate, and from becoming an affiliate to becoming the member, there is a whole journey of 3 years. And what is this journey all about, and how do you record this journey on your MyACCA account? That is what we are going to cover here today in this video. So let's get into the video. Okay. So the first thing here is about the practical experience requirement, the need of it, why it is there, and what is the relevance of it. So see, if you've qualified your ACCA papers, that clearly depicts that you are competent enough to work, and you have the knowledge, but ACCA requires you to apply your knowledge and prove it to the body that I just don't have the knowledge, but I also know how to apply it, how to do a business, how to teach, or maybe how to work in a MNC or maybe a big four. So all of that is basically covered in the practical experience. So you can do your practical experience when you started ACCA, like simultaneously I'm giving the exams and I'm also working in an accounting or a finance field, so I can take the two tracks together. Or I can also do it after qualifying, or maybe after qualifying 9 exams or after qualifying 13 exams, then I can start working and show my experience. Or one other option is that if you worked before starting ACCA, like if you have done any internship, any volunteer work, or if you have worked as an assistant accountant or anything, maybe in assurance field, maybe in the tax field, finance field, whatever you've worked into, you can also get your experience being recorded for that phase as well. So here basically what we have is, first you have to go to your MyACCA account. I'll also show you some glimpses of it. So first you have to go to your MyACCA account, and there they'll ask you to fill in the details of your employer. So maybe I work in XYZ company, so I need to fill the details of that XYZ company. What's the name of my employer, the company, their address, their contact, their email, some things like that. So you can find it on your screen, I have shared. So that thing is there, right? And then afterwards what we are supposed to do is, we are supposed to actually fill in the details of our supervisor. So I'll be sharing this whole thing with you, but you have to basically fill in the details of your supervisor, who will sign off your time and your performance objectives. That is, time is that you have worked for 3 years, or it's not necessary that with one supervisor or with one employer you have to work for whole 3 years. No, you can work for 1 year, 4 months. Like if I give you my personal example, I used to work in an Indian firm for articleship, so I worked there for around 1.5 years, and then in 4 months I spent in an MNC in Noida, here in India, and that was for 4 months. And then we moved forward and I started my own business. So here also I need a supervisor, someone who's supervising my work, so someone who's helping me get the UK clients and who's explaining me how to work for them. So maybe it's my own business, it's a registered business, but I need someone to actually supervise my work, to actually sign off my performance objectives. So there are two things supervisor signs off: the time and the performance objectives. Now this time can also be signed by your HR, but the performance objective will only be signed off by a supervisor who's a qualified accountant. So this person has to be a qualified accountant. He might be your line manager, maybe some of your peers, some of your person who's working along with you, and he has monitored your work basically, and he can just confirm it to the ACCA that this person he has worked in this area and he has achieved this objective. So for example, I have, let's say, I have led a team of 5 people. So if I've led a team of 5 people, I am qualifying for my leadership objective, and I can just get it signed from my supervisor that yes, I have worked for the leadership. Then similarly, there are 9 performance objectives which you have to choose. 5 are, I think, compulsory, 4 you have to choose, or this is some of the weightage. I'm not able to recall the exact number. So that thing is there. and you have to make a statement of it. Now if you're working in Big Four, okay, an approved ACCA employer, if you're working in an approved ACCA employer, then you need not make a performance objective statement. That's the exemption which you get. Then what all do you need is just the signing of the time. That can be done by the HR. So if you're working in an approved ACCA employer, you need not get your performance objectives signed. But if you're not working in an approved employer, you're working in a local business or a short or small firm, so then you need to get your this thing signed. And how do we get this thing signed? And what if I'm doing part-time work? What if I'm teaching? What if I have my own business? There are many questions, and every question is being answered in the My ACCA portal. If you go through that, if you're doing the part-time work, let's say you did part-time work for 1 year, so you'll be getting the practical experience for 6 months because it is part-time, right? Similarly, it is for teaching, that they reduce, like if I've done the teaching for 3 years, so they'll reduce it and they'll give me less of the concession. If I have done my own work, then I have to get it supervised. They don't really consider just doing the job. You can also do your own business freelancing, but you need to have some supervisor, right? So this is one question. Then another thing which we always listen from students is that this supervisor, let's say you're an Indian and you worked in a company secretary firm, and your supervisor is a CS. Now the CS is not a member of IFAC, it's an international body, right? And under that international body, we have lots of accounting professionals ranging from CA to CPA, CMA, CIMA. All of these people, even ACCA, they come under IFAC. So your supervisor has to be an IFAC member. So he should be from an accounting qualification which is under IFAC. So CS in India is not under IFAC, but that shouldn't dishearten you because you've worked under that company secretary firm, because it's not that you can just get it signed from your line manager. You can also get your performance objective signed. Let's say my supervisor is an engineer. I was maintaining his account. He has his firm. He's an engineer. I was maintaining his accounts. I was working in an accounting role. But then this supervisor, this line manager is an engineer. He cannot sign my performance objective. So what I can do is I can get it signed from the auditor of that firm, from the consultant of that firm, from the any partner of that firm who is a CA, right? So I can get it signed from there. So it's not necessary that your immediate line manager has to be a chartered accountant. It could be any other person working in that firm, or maybe an external person who's working in that or working with that firm, from whom you can get your performance objectives signed. So that is all about the plain concept. Now let me just take you through the portal. Here you are on the ACCA portal. This is one of my students' account and I've just logged into it, and she has not signed her PER yet. So you can see here that I have to add the employer details here. Employer name, his address, everything. His town, city, country, state, location, postal code. So then I'll save and move to the next point. But for now, let's say I don't have any employer name, so I can skip that. Okay, I can later come back to it. Okay, so I just skipped it. Okay, I have to do it again. Okay, so see, I have to just add my employer name and stuff, and then I'll skip it. Okay, here I am to my performance objectives. Now see, let it load. So she has not signed anything, so it's showing that she has worked for 0 months and 0 performance objectives completed. Now view objectives. Let us see what are the performance objectives and how will we file it. Okay, so how will we file it? these are the essentials, 5 required objectives on ethics, stakeholder relationship, how do you manage your clients, your suppliers, your strategy and innovation if you have worked on that thing. You can give instances that when I didn't make a strategy, for my business, for my company in which I was working, any governance, risk and control in which area you've worked, leadership and management. Then you have to choose 4 out of these many options given to you. If you worked in reporting, then you can go for the first section. So it's like when you'll read it, you'll easily understand what they're trying to say here, right? So I have to file them, and now they've given you the proper details of what you have to write in your statement. So you will tell the area which you've worked into and which performance objective you have done and what are the instances that you've done that thing. So let me take you towards the sample of it. I'll also attach that sample in my description. Okay, so they've given you step-by-step guide that how will the supervisor sign off the experience. Okay, there will be an invitation sent to your supervisor. He'll get an email, and then he has to click on the email, and then he has to just give his basic details, name, address and stuff, and then he'd be sent and pop up that okay, has this person worked with you, do you agree with this performance objectives, and he will click a yes and you're done with it. So see, your statement should be in your own words, it should be clear and concise. It should provide evidence and example to illustrate your experience, avoid repetition, not provide any private or sensitive information, be true and accurate reflection of your work, right? So this whole thing is given to you when you will open your MyACCA account. And then they have also given you the sample, like I go to ethics and professionalism, okay? And they say start the objective. They've given you the sample, like this is what you can write with your own examples which you've done in your work experience. So this is what you can write. First explain that thing and write your own in your own words that what I have done to obtain this performance objective, and then get it signed from your employer. So this is the whole process of this PER, and I hope that basically clarifies your doubts regarding PER, and now you know that you can file your PER for internship, for voluntary work, for part-time work, for teaching, for business. It's very flexible. If you've done a role in accounting and finance field, and if you have any person who is a CA, ACCA, CPA, CMA, CMA, basically a person under IFAC ready to sign your performance objectives, then you are good to go and you are ready to go and ask for your these PER, right? So that is all about PER, and if you have any doubts, feel free to comment, and I'd be replying on the comments. And the only thing here is that don't keep it till the end, don't basically keep this PER thing till the end, because then it becomes very messy for the student to file it all together, all the 9 objectives together. You can also plan your objectives, like let's say I have to start my work. Now I'll go to my employer and ask him that my dear boss, I have to qualify my ACCA, I have to become a member, and these are basically my performance objectives. What work can I do to fulfill these performance objectives? So he will give the work to you accordingly. So that is basically your agenda here. And if you have worked already, then just file it, don't wait for anything. And of course, after filing your PER, just remember one thing, then ACCA will charge you the membership fee, okay? Right now, if you're an affiliate, they're just charging the subscription fee, but if you become a member, then you'll have a membership fee which is way higher. And yeah, so I'm just informing you that thing. So that's the end of this video. If you like it, do share it with your friends who are doing ACCA, or if you're a student, affiliate, or anyone who knows this thing, or who wants their associates to know about this thing. So do share this video and let me know if it helped you in any way. So all the best guys, and see you in the next video.